Good morning, dear students. Today we shall take up this poem, The Cold Within by James Patrick Henry. Before starting this poem, I want to draw your attention towards a few things. This poem contains 8 stanzas. This poem is in the quatrain form. Once again, I want to remind you, a poem contains 2 lines is called couplet, 3 lines triplet or tercet, 4 lines quatrain. This poem is written in quatrain form. Another important thing which you have to keep in your mind, that this poem is written in iambic meter. 2 syllables, 1 foot is monometer. 1 foot monometer. 4 syllables, 2 foot diameter. Then 3 foot, 6 syllables, trimeter. Then 4 foot tetrameter, 5 foot pentameter, 6 foot hexameter, 7 foot heptameter, 8 foot octometer, 9 foot nanometer. We shall discuss this meter later on in a separate video. Let us start this poem. The Cold Within. This poem tells us about the lack of warmth in human relations. Cold means lack of warmth. Within means in human relations. 6 humans trapped by happenstance. 6 humans trapped by happenstance means 6 humans each possessing a stick of wood are trapped by chance in a biting cold, in a bone-chilling weather, you can say. In bleak means unpleasant and bitter cold. Here alliteration is used, bleak and bitter. Repetition of consonant sounds. Here you can see, that's why alliteration figure of speech is used here by the poet. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Trapped means something by which one is caught against his wish or desire. Happenstance, something that happens by chance. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. I have already explained. 6 humans each possessing a stick. Each one possessed a stick of wood, so the story is told. This is just like the opening of this poem is just like a tableau. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold, each one possesses a stick of wood, so the story is told. 6 humans each possessing a stick of wood are trapped by chance in a biting cold or in a bone-chilling weather. This is the beginning of this story. This is just like the opening of this poem is just like a tableau. They are a dying fire in need of logs. They are sitting around a fire. and the fire is about to die. So the dying fire needs a log. But the first one held hers back. The first one is a woman, and that woman is a prejudiced woman. But the first one held hers back, far off the faces round the fire. First, she sees the faces sitting around the fire, and that's why she decided that she will not put her log in the fire to keep the fire alive, to keep the fire burning. Far off the faces round the fire. Here also faces and fire alliteration figure of speech is used. She noticed one was black. She noticed one was black. One of a group of 6 people, a woman on seeing a black man does not give her love. When the woman saw that a black person is also sitting around the fire, that's why she decided that she will not put her log in the fire to keep the fire burning. The next man looking across the way saw one not of the church. Church here, religious community. The next man looking across the way. Another person also do the same thing. He also saw that other persons are also sitting there. They do not belong to his church or religious community. That's why he decides not to put his log in the fire. Saw one not of his church. He saw that one of the member sitting around the fire does not belong to his religious community and could not bring himself to give the fire his stick of a birch. Birch, a kind of tree. The outer bark can be pulled off easily. He decides that he will not put his log in the fire because other persons here are from other religious community. The third one sat in tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Hitch means pull up. Like this, pull up. The third one sat in tattered clothes, rag clothes. The third one sitting there in a ragged cloth, in a tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Seeing other persons, due to the feeling of a jealousy, he gave a hitch to his coat. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? He says that I will not put my log to give warmth to other persons who does not belong to my community, who does not belong to my church. So he also keeps his log to himself and decides not to put the log in the fire to keep the fire alive. The rich man just sat and thought of the wealth he had in his store. The rich man sitting there also thinks about the money which he kept in his safe, in his locker, and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. Shiftless means lacking ambition and energy. He said that, and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. He said that whatever the money he earned through hard labor, he is not going to spend even a single penny for the lazy, for the poor persons lacking ambition and energy. That's why he also does not put his log in the fire to keep the fire. The black man's face bespoke revenge. Bespoke means showed sign of revenge, showed sign of jealousy. The black man's face bespoke, the black man's face showed signs of revenge. As the fire passed from his sight, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. Spite means to hurt. The black man's face bespoke revenge. The black man who was sitting there around the fire showed signs of revenge. So he decides that he will not put his log in the fire to give warmth to the white, to give warmth to the other persons who are belonging to other religious community. And he decides that this is an opportunity to harm the white. The last man of this forlorn group, forlorn means a sad and lonely group. Oxymoron figure of speech is used. Oxymoron is a figure of speech in which two opposite ideas are put together. The last man of this forlorn group did not accept for gain. Giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. The last man of this forlorn group, the last man who was sitting in this sad and lonely group, did not accept for gain. He said that, what shall I get from all these persons when I shall put my log in the fire? I shall get nothing, so I am not going to put my log in the fire to give warmth to the other persons belonging to other religious community. Giving only to those who give was how he played the game. He gives only to those who give him something in return. Their locks held tight in death's still hand. Personification figure of speech used here. Personification is a figure of speech in which inanimate objects are thought of as living beings. Their locks held tight in death's still hands was proof of human sign. Human sign, it is nothing but a proof of human sin. All of them died keeping the log in their still means tight hands. They did not die from the cold without. They did not die from the freezing cold outside. They died from the cold within. They died due to the cold, due to the lack of warmth within, due to the lack of the feeling of warmth within. Thank you.